So how many here are Vikings fans? And how many are Green Bay fans? So you're very happy it's ordinary season, aren't you? Wearing green today? Well, moving on from that. They're actually my two favorite teams. I like both teams. So today we have a lot about honesty and dishonesty in the readings. And it's kind of perplexing, the gospel. It almost seems to praise somebody for making friends dishonestly. You know, we could look at the steward or even the master as like Satan, who was giving something from God, many gifts, and squandered it or became very selfish and proud. And so there's this steward who owes the master, and the master says, "You've been squandering my property," and then what? He goes and multiplies the deceit. He goes and he said, "Hey, you got 100, write it for 80. And you 100, write it for 50. And Satan does that. It's kind of lies built on lies. Sometimes people get in the habit of lying and it multiplies. But it really does start with small things. We had a speaker here at the seminary, Virtuous Business Leaders, last year, who mentioned that his company deals a lot with inside stealing of companies. Do you know that there's big companies, Macy's or whatever, they have employees that actually keep an eye on their own employees to make sure they're not stealing? And this guy said it always starts with just that little thing on a credit card. Somebody gets a credit card for the company, they think they kind of deserve this little extra, and they use that credit card, and then they think they deserve another little extra, and then that. He says that's how it often happens in the big companies. And truly, even in little ways, yes, for us. Maybe a little glance on that guy's test over there, kind of got away with it. I think about sometimes I go drive onto Highway 94, and you go into the lane where, if you're a single driver, you have to be on the left, right? If you've got two people in the car, you can go on the right. And sometimes I'm in that left line, I'm waiting to go on the highway, and I look over and I'm saying, who's driving by? And there's one driver. Did you ever do that? Did you ever look? I say, well, that guy's a single driver. So dishonest in that little way. I help out at a Hmong parish, Hmong Catholic community. And there's a family that's really distraught last week, and I met with them for supper because they had somebody who came to their house who did the flooring. And they put an epoxy on the flooring in the basement, and they have a business in the southern suburbs here. And they came over and they said to this young family who doesn't have a lot of money, they paid $6,000 to have epoxy put on their basement. For them, that's a lot of money. And the person came in and they did tests. What's the soil like underneath? The cement? Can this epoxy work? Oh yeah, this will work. Work no problem. Should be good to go. And they said, well, we better put two layers on it, because it is a little bit moist down here in the basement, so they put 2 layers on. Then, a day or 2 later, all of a sudden, epoxy starts splitting. Different places get holes. And then another part of the basement, bubbles coming up in the epoxy. And then the business said, paid 50% up front, have to pay 50% when they're done. Said, if you don't pay the rest 50%, we're putting a lien on you can't sell your previous house. They were moving. All sorts of stuff came at them. And I thought to myself, how sad it is that one business person would take advantage of this small family. That's what I felt like happened. And I thought it starts in small things and it grows to big things. But if we are faithful in small matters, God empowers us more and more to care for and to lead His children, okay? And I mentioned this before, but there was a woman in my parish, and she had 2 boxes of paper clips. Her name's Mary Rose. And the one box was the parish paper clips, and the other box was her family's paper clips. And if she ever did something for her family, she never used the parish paper clip. Isn't that something? She's not scrupulous. She's kind of holy. but how beautiful that is. What do we do when no one's watching? So I just encourage all of you today. I'm so happy for you to be here, young people, and I long for you to know the love of Christ and to be filled with the Holy Spirit. And just let's take a moment now to thank God for the grace that He's given us, the knowledge in our conscience to be faithful in little matters when no one's watching.